Lighting a natural-looking daylight interior scene can be quite challenging, especially if you have to build up everything from scratch without any natural light. In this video I will show some tips and my approach for lighting this scene. Before you start to do anything, you really have to decide the time of the day and the weather conditions in your scene, because later you will have to make decisions based on these informations. For example, a sunny or rainy high noon or golden hour will produce very different lighting conditions. In my scene I will have a sunny midday without direct sunlight. To make it real, I really have to think through how the lights will behave in my location. I will have the slightly warmer sunlight coming from the window, but I will also have the huge, cooler skylight bouncing around the room and filling the shadows. And these two lights will slowly fall off as they are reaching to the other side of the room. In these situations, a very handy lighting technique is cove lighting that will create beautiful and natural soft lights. Roger Deakins is well known for mastering this technique. If we take a look at his work, we can find some great examples where the light slowly falls off on the face and just barely leaks onto the shadow side of the face. Just a beautiful kiss of light. This can be achieved by basically creating a cove where the intensity of light is gradually decreasing. I will follow this cove mindset to build up my lighting. So my first step was to create the ambient light by using the Godox VL150 with a diffusion gel to make it even more softer. I also had to put a bounce board in the window to block the reflection of the light, and the inner side of the diffusion gel also reflected some hard lights on my face, so I had to block it with some black wrap. I could light from the outside through the window with some diffusion applied, but to create that nice kicker on my face, I had to place the light slightly behind me. And to be honest, lighting from the outside sometimes not an option, because we are working on a second or third floor and renting a crane would burn a major part of our budget. If you have to capture a wide shot with the windows in the frame and you don't have a crane, what you can do is to apply a strong diffusion on the window and try to light evenly the surface from the outside by using some LED tubes. The next step is to create a softer light source with less intensity that will slightly wrap around my face. For this I used the Aperture 300D with a softbox and softened the light further with a shower curtain. This way I got a big soft light source. So now I had a few problems to solve. The first is that the second light is too warm. It could work during golden hour when the sun is low and the light is scattered through the atmosphere, making it warmer. But not now. The first light is around 50,000 Kelvin because the diffusion gel and bouncing of the wall made it warmer, but it's okay because it represents the sun. The second light, with one layer of softbox diffusion and with the shower curtain, is around 4800 Kelvin, but it should be cooler because it represents the sky. So I added half CTB and it became 6000 Kelvin. But it was too cold, so I had to add another layer of diffusion into the softbox to make it a bit warmer, and finally I ended up with 5800 Kelvin, which I lied. The second problem is that I'm sitting next to a white wall and the bounce light killed all the shadows on my face. I used a black fabric to cover the wall partially and bring back the shadows. It can be tempting to cover the whole wall with black to make your shadows deeper, but you have to keep in mind what feels real in your current setup and location. Okay, so the next problem I had to solve was the spill light on the back wall. In reality, when light is coming through the window, the same wall should be lit only by the light bouncing back. But in my case, it was lit directly by the first light and exposing my natural lighting setup. By using a flag to block the light from the wall, it also reduced the levels in the background. And this leads to my last problem. There's a door in the corner and we can see outside. Or to be precise, we can't see outside because it's dark and it doesn't help me to sell my daylight setup. So I used an ancient aperture LED, which is the first light I ever bought, and placed it outside to light the outer wall. It also leaked into the kitchen, which worked well in the final image. With this little trick, I got the illusion that it's bright outside and creates the motivation for my whole lighting. There are many ways to light a daylight scene, and every situation will be a little different. This is my way of thinking, and by using this method I'm getting the realistic feeling I'm looking for. It would be great if you could share your way of thinking, your approach in a situation like this. I'm curious how you would do it. If you like this video, let me know with a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Merry Christmas and see you in the next one.